A warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this forum and for the great organization of bringing such a great group of people together. My name is Nicole Loeser. I have to check. I'm an international curator, art manager, gallerist, and writer, and like to give you an overview about my different approaches to building cultural bridges. As it's entangled into my personal life and career, I would like to introduce you to White Concepts Gallery, the Institute for Art and Innovation, and the EU-funded project, the Universe at Sea. I'm here and like to share my experience after more than 250 exhibitions and projects with you, because I've been constantly establishing bonds between artists and people working in other disciplines which correspond exactly to the goal of cultural diplomacy. I'm building cultural bridges, especially through art, because I understand exhibitions to be opportunities for discourse and knowledge exchange, and in conjunction with lectures, workshops, discussions, and publications as a means of engaging the community and fostering learning. To me, bringing artists together with different groups and communities serves not only my own inspiration, but also influences artists in their practice and can strengthen interdisciplinary and intercultural relations. It seems that contemporary art is most appreciated nowadays because it's within the context of ethical values. When economical forces reduce human activities to commoditized outputs and outcomes, the reintroduction of ethics within society brings art back into a social structure. It seems, when you see the world and all its disasters, the chaos, you realize that not only young generations seek for a world without gigantic, militaristic, corporate and anti-natural constructions. There are lots of different forces in our society, but the incentives are mostly thrown on businesses and structures which are underlining an inappropriate dealing with world problems. Obviously, digital innovation is transforming our world by influencing a rapid technology-driven change and innovation across all types of organizations. Besides, co-working over the last 10 years served an economy of freelancers, startup and micro-enterprises. These modest beginnings have created a movement which spans the world. I think that agile, improved environments that enhance the contextual, collaborative and creative capacity of people are essential and shifting towards a visionary role, and this revolution is going mainstream. When I founded White Concepts Gallery 8 years ago, I didn't want to open just another one of these at the time existing 450 art galleries in Berlin. Instead, I had been looking for an opportunity to use abandoned places to curate independent art shows. Besides my home base in Potsdamer Straße, one of the first shows took place on 1,000 square meters and presented artistic interventions that gave priority to issues concerning perceptions of space. And until today, I regard this notion as a unifying principle. So this is not working. Now let's see. I just like to give you a short video how to set up an exhibition. No.
So we have a little technical.
This one, yeah, exactly. It's super short, but it's a funny video. VLC it was.
VLC.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that's it. And this is also what people don't know. When you see an exhibition, you don't see how long it took and how many people were involved. Yeah. I will come back later to this exhibition especially. Yeah, that's it. So, back again. PowerPoint. to have it bigger again. Didn't. There it goes. Hits. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Oops. Come on. Sorry, one moment, please. That's strange.
Yeah, then I don't show the videos again.
This,
That's a strange thing. Maybe.
what is going on? Oh,
Display.
can we go through?
Yes, otherwise, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so always the left. Okay. So the gallery, let's see, again. Yeah, okay, perfect. So this was this. Okay. So the gallery focuses on conceptual art and an interdisciplinary based exploration of various media that include digital, visual, and sculptural works, installations, performances, and other creative interventions. All of the represented gallery artists working on an interface, which means their work deal with art and science, art and economy, art and ecology, art and politics, and other connections. But besides almost traditional gallery shows in a white cube, I always realized curatorial projects to push the boundaries and to reach a broad audience. To give you an example, in 2011, I invited 35 artists to an old, empty safe factory, realizing a dream of an independent experiment based on the question, what would happen if the American dream is over? When everything seemed to just suggest an imminent crash, and bitterly one of our own manufacture. Are we too passive in simply putting together economic and aid packages, or can we overcome the apparently vicious cycle? And can art itself serve to form a new position and even create a new vision? Or is art relegated to the confines of commercial enterprise, to the creation of products? In this show, all artists were dealing with all kinds of problems, whether in a dystopian or utopian way. In only 4 days, the show attracted more than 5,000 visitors, and the works were so intense that even years afterwards, people told me about their feelings. So what you can see here is a work by Heiner Nemeth, an Hungarian artist. She also represented Hungary at that time at the Venice Biennial. She came up with this idea, okay, bring me a car, and then it gets dismantled in 72 hours by a mechanic. But she also invited an opera singer, and this opera singer sang one line for each object which was in the car used, you know. So yeah, you can imagine how many screws and cables and whatever they had to dismantle. Over the years, I curated shows on art and money, like the Golden Cage in 2012. What you see here on the right is a work by Thomas Eller, a German artist, and he was showing us the coins of all European countries who joined the Union, and but these are the coins of each country. I mean the European money. But you see some coins are a bit bigger, other are smaller, some of them are blurred, yeah, and so on. So yeah, you can have a lot of different associations. And this piece was also in the show. It's a rock formation. It's called High Altitude. It's a photo simulation, you can say, by Michael Najar. And of course, the rock formations, they don't exist physically, but they are very present in our society of simulations. The photos visualize the development of the leading global stock markets over the past 20 and 30 years. So each stock market index, such as Dow Jones, Nikkei, Nasdaq, and more specific Lehman Brothers stock, quote, downfall, corresponds to a rendered unique mountain range. Besides the exhibition, The Golden Cage, and performances which took place, Gesine Schwan, twice candidate for the German presidential election, took over the moderation of the panel discussions with economy experts, philosophers, and artists. And I also like to mention the Art and Pacifism show, Who Wants to Die, in 2016, where young graduates from several European art academies were invited. This show is now traveling to Budapest to be shown in October at the Austrian Forum and the Polish Institute. What you can see on here, this atomic bomb sculpture, let's see. They are little figures on the bottom, and the artist thought they would do a barbecue, so sausages, let's say. But at that time, nobody in Berlin recognized that this was actually a barbecue, the artist meant. They thought of selfie sticks and mobile phones. So, yeah. And then the next one was also included. I mean, there are only two choices by me. This is an artwork by André Urba. And he came up with this piece because he thinks that people don't appreciate life so much, so it just comes in a gift box, but then you throw it in the corner, and sometimes it's on or off. So, yeah, moreover, I develop projects in close collaboration with artists to raise awareness for the importance to preserve and respect biodiversity. Here I like to draw your attention to the Tree Walker project with the German artist Christoph Butt Asmus. It took place in 3 African countries, and the artist had a dream 9 years ago to walk along the highest branches of trees. And then he started to take climbing courses, started to do performances up in the trees. He slept there just to connect to the trees and to the forests. And he was, from the beginning, very clear that he wanted to give this beautiful, romantic picture to the world, so that people can appreciate the forest and especially the rainforest in Africa on a very, very deep level. Because in these countries he has been to, people think that the bad guys come from the forests, yeah, because it's they don't know so much about the plants and the wildlife there, and that's why they stay in the cities, yeah, and they don't like to go out. I mean, here in Berlin, maybe you experienced this. All of the Berliners, the real Berliners, they like to go to the nature and to the countryside, and almost each weekend they are cycling around or going to the lakes or whatever, but not in Africa. I mean, the artist experienced this. And another interesting project titled Battlefield Love Memorial took place with the Austrian artist Nikolaus Eberstaller and was realized as an art peace rally with 200 participating students here in Berlin in the frame of the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. And in the first presentation here, there was also Mark Bogarts mentioned, this director, or dance director, choreographer. And he also was the main figure for us, because he went to the schools and did some dancing courses with our students, and then the students were forming these letters, like you can see, these love letters. So the mission of Red Concept is focusing on the exchange among artists and patrons about ideas concerning contemporary art and how ideas can be transferred into society. My central interest is in featuring socially reflective and environmentally focused projects that introduce diverse and forward-thinking perspectives. I assume that art provides me the freedom to choose the topic which I find most relevant to mirror. Since my childhood in the GDR, I believe that the world can be changed to the better and always find a way to do so. With this deep impression how easily its system change can happen, I'm now waiting for a global shift to gain awareness for our planet and to stop most of our senseless activities. Which brings me to the main question here. Can art be a trigger for action and reaction? I believe art touches people on an emotional level, whether consciously or unconsciously. Art inners the world. It influences the behavior of people. And art raises awareness of different cultures, the relationships between people, communities, and societies, and of course, our planet. Here you see Katrin Kaufmann's photo artwork showing various places on Earth documenting collective rituals. It's a project that highlights the visual rapport between social realism and euphoric utopianism, referencing the visual and material facilitation of socially unifying rituals. Rather than showing a sum of individuals moving, her work records people merging into one being. It has always been my intention to work more collaboratively, and 2 years ago I sat together with a colleague and started to brainstorm how art and innovation could be brought together. I was lucky because my colleague is a digital innovation strategist facilitating accelerator programs and innovation hubs. And a little time later, the Institute for Art and Innovation was founded. It's a multidisciplinary institute that explores and promotes art and innovation as a means to foster social impact and change. For this purpose, the Institute established the Social Art Award to support the spread of social art, the artists and their work for the people. Furthermore, the Institute undertakes research, training, production, and exchange. Yeah, okay, there's this other not working, okay. So here you can see our first Social Art Award ceremony. We had applications from 131 countries, and this was amazing. We didn't expect such a number. And it was very hard for our jury to decide who should be the winning artist, because every project was so powerful. Yeah, and then we decided for these 3 people. So Lino Tonelotto, a French professor, actually, what we found out at the ceremony. Yeah, he did a show, he did a project about elections in France because people didn't believe anymore in the politicians. So he came up with this idea, everyone could just throw the bag, yeah, and take a picture and then send it in, and then they were printing the posters and put them all around the cities. And this happened not only in Paris, but in many different other cities. Then we had the second award was going to Jia Ki from Singapore, and she faces a lot of racism in Singapore, and that's why she came up with this idea to put a soap suspender besides a normal toilet in the public space. But you have to decide whether you wash your hand with a white-colored skin or with a black-colored skin, and so on. And then Diogo da Cruz, he's from Portugal. He created his own bank and his own money, and because he thinks, it should be based on values, the whole money system, and therefore you can come to his bank with ideas or projects and whatever, and then it will be decided whether it's good for society or not, and this depends how much money you can lend from the bank or whatever. So, yeah, but how to move on with this idea to bring art and innovation together? Quickly, we were clear, also with my colleague, that only a major goal can bring different disciplines together. And what was the most urgent problem for us? Water. We are so fed up with the bad quality around the globe, that this results in the need to buy drinking water in plastic bottles. So over half a year, we developed an idea and applied for funding within the Creative Europe program. This project brings together artists, scientists, and entrepreneurs together with the public, and really to fight plastic pollutions in the ocean. It aims at supporting a movement of change makers, and it's all about joining forces and providing inspirations to find, develop, and spread effective, sustainable solutions against this major anthropogenic problem, especially of plastic waste. We believe that science provides the fact, art can be a catalyst for change, while entrepreneurship enables the long-term success. And it's really an art and innovation project with 3 intertwined goals: rediscovering the role of the artist in our society, revealing the opportunities of art meeting science and entrepreneurship, while fostering creative solutions to fight the burning issue of water pollution. So what we do now with people and organizations around across Europe is organizing a series of events. Through an open call, we reached out to creatives whose artwork deal with these water problems, and received again 250 applications from almost 40 countries. And and they play a very important role in our project by sensitizing the people and communities. In 2 months, a grand opening takes place. It's an art and science exhibition. And in each, and then we travel through 7 cities in Europe, and we will always have a traveling exhibition and a scientific exhibition, because we also need the facts, of course, and then we have co-creation workshops where we invite experts from all these different disciplines, but also students. And hopefully we can find the most important questions the local community has to deal with. So for instance, we go to Venice, and Venice, I think 40,000 people are living there. They have 14 million people coming all year, and everyone is throwing the rubbish away. So, and the community and the Kommune is also very interested in our project, because they don't know what to do. Because they don't have so many people who can go with boats, all around the island and get it into bins or whatever. So it's easily just go to the sea. And then in Budapest, we will have the final festival. It will be the whole month of October. And there we bring together the public and all project participants, including artists, scientists, entrepreneurs, and key speakers, celebrating and presenting the results of the whole project, ready to be put into action. And this will also be presented at the Entrepreneurship Summit here in Berlin. So to pick, it was hard also for me to pick one proposal, because the jury has to decide in the next 2 weeks who will be the 5 finalists who, because they can get a budget of 5,000 euros and can develop their projects with different groups like marine biologists. It depends on the project of the artist, but for instance, this artist here is Nezaket Ekici. She is from Turkey. And she is a well-known performance artist, and she likes to be standing on the surface of water, and like a queen, and she drinks the water from this lake or this river or whatever. But therefore, she experienced the bad quality herself. So she needs now scientists and also maybe also companies who have invented filtering systems and so on, so that it's not too bad for her own health. But to give an example for the society, let's say, she does it on her own. So why is art and innovation such a relevant combination for me? Because especially this project, is committed to all beings. We are part of one universal sea, and therefore pulling art, science, technology, and business together will help us to come up with efficient solutions and activities which can mitigate climate change. With the Institute for Art and Innovation and its projects, such as the Universal Sea, we want to promote interdisciplinary discussions, create a unique space for artists, audiences, and other stakeholders in cultural management, provide a platform for cultural exchange, explore the transformative role that art and innovation can play in society, sculpt the human society closer to the ultimate goals of global sustainability and eventually peace, and promote social cohesion. So I like to thank all inspirational people, artists, supporters, and partners in great initiatives such as this forum, because we know all the facts, but it's time to act. So I hope this presentation could give you an insight of the potential, what we as human beings are capable of, and reach out to join our movement and partner with us to be part of this change. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for one or two quick questions. Does anybody have a question they would like to ask? Okay, yes, in the front row.
Hi, my name is Alexa. I'm from Germany. I would just like to know, because you call it art as cultural diplomacy, how do you decide whom to invite? How do you reach out to people? How do you get people involved who aren't already involved in the art scene?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's not the issue, because I know so many different groups, and I always think of projects how to include these people. So it's, sometimes it's the other way around. So whether it's a burning issue for me, and then I do a research whom I would like to meet, and whom I would like to see in a discussion, and yeah, I try to convince these people to come and join us. Yeah, but I think it's more a big experiment, and as long as it's not this kind of organizational, commitment and so on, it's about people and whether you are curious to join or not. So yeah, this is in a way very simple, but on the other hand also very a very open process to get people on board. Yeah, but for me it's because I always like to be, whether with children or even old people and so on. So for me, it's really what we are capable of. So, and let's see and find out.
So do you get other people's opinions on who they would like to see also, or who you should ask and invite to avoid selection bias?
It depends. I mean, for this project, for the University, of course, because there are so many beautiful initiatives out there, and we don't know all of them, and some of them are so small and can't easily be overseen. So it's also good to get in touch with the local community, with the local organizations, and find out who should be invited. But then on the other hand, if I did my research well, I also asked them, do you know about them and so on, and no, I don't. So I like to include them, yeah, also to give this inspiration to the group. Yeah. So it's in my opinion, it's more this curiosity which brings people together, and not if you know each other well. I mean, why should we do a project? So yeah, it's always this diverse groups which I like. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, we have time for one more question here.
My name is Anna. I'm from Ukraine. I'm wondering, do you have any support from the state or government to do such project?
So the last project, the University, it's an EU-funded project. So
Okay,
we wrote an application to the Creative Europe program, and then got some money.
Like a gallery, right? Not the artist. You did it by yourself, not the artist.
I did it,
Yeah.
yes. So it was half a year voluntary work, besides my gallery work and my curator's work. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes the days are very long, but I think it's really sharing my inspiration. So I don't see to have this kind of weekends and so on. So it's more what I can do. And at the moment I have 4 big projects. There's also another project going on about art and neuroscience. It's about empathy. I was asked last year, even I knew that I would become the creative director of this university project. And I was like, now I'm curious, I have to do this also. And I work in each project with different groups, which is maybe also interesting for you. Because it's also again about people who are more into this kind of neuroscience, let's say, and like to be attached with it instead of having my assistant, and she's like, oh, I don't know, I can't cope with this, and so I always decide who is motivated, and really likes this challenge.
Okay. Please join me in thanking one more time our speaker.